You know, and I'm not just talking about the water, I'm talking about the sewer line, because that's our biggest right now. Because if that goes and DEQ steps in, it will be fixed, and you will pay whatever it's gonna take, which will bankrupt this town completely, because they don't care. They ain't gonna go after, let you go after no granting, no funding. DEQ steps in, it gets fixed now, and you pay the cost.
Another thing, real quick. Hey, on the, Jesse again. Hey, on the past due stuff, is that from people that have moved on and not here? I noticed I've looked around the neighborhood because I'm trying to figure where I'm at. I noticed there's a lot of empty buildings that's been empty for a while, even like houses and stuff like that. So any of those past dues like from people that old and just booked out on it, or?
That's a great question.
I know up on Cactus, there's 11,000 on one and another on another.
Yeah, we were looking at something like buying something maybe, and they were saying it had if somebody would just pay the $11,000 water bill, they might be able to get it kind of thing, but I don't know.
I haven't taken the time to look through the accounts individually yet. My best guess answer is yeah, some of the bills that are owed are from people who have moved on, but the bill follows the property, so unfortunately, whoever is there now is going to get stuck with those charges. And I mean, that's really unfortunate. I hate to do that, but it should have been collected at that time when that person moved on and the property changed over. And there's nothing I can do about that now. I just have to go with who is there now.
So if the people are not in town and you can't get a hold of them, where is the town going to do with that? Because I mean, that one I'm talking about is exactly.
What about my scenario where we're all on one water meter in the trailer park of 9 trailers? We're on one water meter, and say the landlord left it past you. Are you going to bill all 9 of us and divide it on all 9 of us?
So I'm actually going to answer both of your questions at the same time because it's pretty much the same answer. When it doesn't get paid by a certain date, and I believe that deadline is June 30th, do not quote me on that, but I think it's June 30th, that's when I can start the process to put it on the property taxes. So at that point, whoever owns the property and pays the property taxes would pay it. So in your case, that would go to your landlord. In the case you're talking about, it would go to whomever is the property owner and is paying the property taxes. And then it would become the county's job to collect that for us, and then they will give it back to us as they collect it.
Because now we are being billed separately, and that just started this year, even though we are still on one water meter, and we technically all have water meters under our house, but those water meters do not get read. So we're supposedly got a 1 water meter bill divided by 9 houses that we're paying.
And
I'm sorry, I've not been through the accounts individually, so I get that there are some issues, and that's where I talked about maybe there's some misbillings in those numbers.
Right.
I just cannot say for certain at this moment in time because I'm just not very familiar with your town and your system. But I can say in a landlord-tenant situation, it's always going to fall to the landlord, because that's who owns the property and that is who is ultimately responsible. And I can say that is something I'm working to get your system where the landlord and the tenant get a copy of the bill, so that if the tenant's not paying, the landlord is very aware, because that's who I'm going to go after is the landlord.
The landlord in the town of Brumberg is responsible unless it's in a contract. So in our town ordinances, the landlord is responsible for the water bill unless it's in the rental agreement. Yes, it is in the town ordinances.
No, I agree with you.
So
The water bill always follows the land.
Right, but what I'm saying is I'm a renter. There's no reason why I should be getting a water bill because my landlord is responsible. However, on these guys, you're talking about 9 trailers underneath one property owner. But not only that, if you have any backwater in there, every single one of you guys sitting up there knows you cannot shut off that trailer court's water.
Because you shut it off?
You shut off all 9. Right. You turn one person's water off, you kill all 9. You're saying that if you build a landlord who is how many months past due because we received the $11,000 water bill wrong for the property owner that I brought last fall, he owes $11,000 on that.
Kristen wasn't here.
Right, I was just saying that was me,
no,
so I have no knowledge
here.
base of what you're talking about.
But the thing is that the council members up there know, or at least Tim and Nate know, that alley was given away, which had the access to hook up the water properly, so it's now private property. The town has no access to it, can't hook them up right, and now you can't shut them off.
Yeah, because our landlord supposedly hired somebody, dug up all of our water lines, put us all on individual water lines with water meters under our house, there's no way to shut any of us off individually.
Yeah, so if you
That
do
is the
that.
problem
with
with
the
multiple
landlord-
structures on one tap. That's why I don't like it.
Yeah.
Doesn't
This is,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, we're getting
getting
very sideways.
way out of line here of where we need to be, but let's concentrate here on the project. Are we gonna add to it now?
I move,
Okay, what is your proposal?
I just don't see any way around it. I really think we have to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, I just, the only, I just don't want to be the person that all of a sudden Kirsten comes back and says, now we need a $10 increase on top of the 22. I really don't want to do that to anybody, but.
So, if I may, again, tonight is just your intent, how you'd like to move forward. And then Nathan Alou, your bond counsel, who said he'll come to the May meeting and walk you through everything. We'll work with Kirsten, the SRF, they'll do the papers, they have to do the resolution of bond closing, which is, it'll make Dennison look bad, it'll be 50 pages, you know. But then it'll be hard numbers in front of you. You still have the option in May of saying, no, we need to back off or do something. I mean, you're not agreeing or committing to anything tonight. We just need direction of, do you want this construction loan? What do you want us to make it for?
Okay.
And then he would work through the exact numbers, and then it will come back on your May meeting for you guys to approve or commit, and you
And that
can
gives
then
Christian
change
time.
your mind or do things when you see the actual numbers.
Okay, well then I guess in that case,
I move to do 1,
yeah,
2, 3, 4.
and I'll second it.
What we're looking at is
Number 4?
a motion to do 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, so my question is, what would be the top? What are we paying a month then?
They'll give us the final numbers when they come in.
We're estimating
We're-
1975-ish,
1975.
yeah.
On top of the 134, we're
Yep.
paying,
Right.
Yep,
we're talking about 100.5 roughly.
yep.
Yeah, and then you have to think about this. We're getting a new garbage contract. That'll go up as well.
There is zero doubt that that will go up because Ryan also told me today that they have not been billing you correctly for the entire length of your 10-year contract. They were not billing you tonnage like they were supposed to, so it's going to go up pretty significantly. Sorry.
So while we're looking at rates, we need to look at our garbage rates
Yeah.
along with the water, sewer, and rates. And then we need to look at a new schedule on pricing that Mark has for his hookups and stuff. Anyway, do we have a motion then? A motion and a second to go with options 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So your intent is to award all 4 schedules
To do all 4.
and the additive alternate?
And
What's the additive alternative?
To replace the valves of the tank.
Yes, and the additive
It
alternative.
adds 21 cents a month per user.
The valve does not work in the tank.
So
I
it
know
puts it up at
I
21.
replaced one already.
Well, we were going to replace both check valves and the 3-gate valves as the additive alternate, valve out. They gave you a pretty good price on that, actually. Half of what I thought it cost.
What was the price on that?
26,
Almost like
23,485.
That's including the valves and check valves?
That's all 5 valves.
So we have that motion.
There's
Do we-
a possibility that the figures will come down to lower.
I tend to be as conservative as possible, and my part of it should be your worst case scenario. So when Nathan starts working, the part I still can't answer is, as Kirsten works through the books with them, what you might need to raise just to cover existing expenses.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. We're all for with the option on the valves of the tank. Do we have any public comment?
I think we should do the options, all of them.
I agree.
Do
I think,
I agree. Glad you all agree, because it's going to hit your water.
I mean,
Okay.
Better shape before it's
So
saying,
the
we
DD
gotta do something.
Okay.
So,
Make
We'll get it done tomorrow.
So we have a motion.
So honestly, if we award it in May, COP is looking at starting in June.
Good.
Okay.
They want to get it.
Yeah, so
And
we
I
get
was
this-
worried with the boring subcontractors it'd be this fall. But they said they want to start in June.
Okay.
How long would it take? Do you have an idea?
Is that born under the highway or what?
Twice under the highway and the railroad.
Yeah.
Train tracks too.
We're
But
looking
you-
at 2 to 3 weeks.
So
6 months.
if we award all 4 schedules, they get 105 contractors calendar days. So that's 3 months, a little over 3 months. But I would anticipate if you award all 4 schedules, they'll get their boring subcontractor set up, and while he's boring like the water line, they'll go do lines for. I don't think they'll take anywhere near the. I'm going to say 2 months, 2.5 months. It'll be done in August, is what. Because they're making money if they get in and out.
It depends on weather too. I would.
Right, and so the summer's going to be our best weather. So.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Yeah.
We've had public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
You didn't vote aye, so you don't get one.
Okay, next up on the agenda is our attorney, Jennifer Butler. No?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Public Works Director, Mark.
Is he here?
Yeah? All right. Well, first of all, I would like to start by addressing the roads. I mean, how much we talked about on the budget for the roads, and Fisher Sand and Gravel, $78 a ton for asphalt. I've got to get with the county to see what they would charge. Our little dump truck can haul 5 tons. I mean, that's good enough to do small patches, but if we're talking about overlaying or ripping out full roads, then I would suggest the one up by the school being one of them. And to his comment on that, I'd rather fill the hole than have them all over the fucking road by the school. I'm sorry. They are. I've watched them guys all over the road up there by the school.
Yeah.
But
That's a
Slow down.
corner.
it is a bad corner. But we can get with the county and try to get some, help from them as far as hauling it and paving. I mean, anything bigger than that, what we can haul in that little dump truck, and we're talking small patches. We'd need equipment that we'd have to either rent or get from a county anyways. So, but other than that, a skid steer bucket for the new skid steer. I've been kind of shopping those around. They're $2,000. Pretty much, no matter where you get them.
Well, I do know that we do need a bucket for it.
Yeah, and I mean like that bucket, that clamshell bucket that's over there, it really isn't not a great bucket for that machine. It's a dirt bucket with dirt teeth on it. It'd be great for digging out, but if you're
Not for smoothing anything.
You need a cutting edge on your bucket.
yeah, we just need a bucket with a cutting edge, and I looked at putting one on that, and it's not the right type of bucket for that.
You can't do that on everything.
But they're running about $2,000.
Yeah, I mean, if we get one new from Bobcat, Big Sky Bobcat or whatever, they're $2,400. I've seen them a few other places online that you can get them for $2,000, and then some of them on Facebook Marketplace, $1,200. People, like Top Construction selling old buckets or whatever, places like that.
You know anything, Nate, about where you might be able to get a bucket?
Digging in those great places is
There's no place on the side of the
Right,
highway.
do you have any,
I can do
Okay.
some
Between-
checking.
Right here.
I know we buy a lot
Okay.
through different things, and I
All
can do
of
some checking.
them.
I guess, I don't know, I understand, I bought it too, with the roads and stuff like that, but in all honesty, until we can get these numbers and stuff straightened around, I know you need the stuff, I know you want to repair the
Mhm.
stuff, but until we get these numbers and stuff figured out to where we're at, I can't see And I will do some more checking on the bucket, because we've got some too.
Yeah.
I can get you some different, we can get some different deals. on
What's what I mean, it's like, I looked at using the one off the John Deere that we have over there. I'd have to cut the whole back of that bucket off and redo the way it hooks to the machine, and then
You got the-
ultimately I make
you got
it
the flip-ups.
obsolete to
You
that.
got the flip-up hooks on yours,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, the standard bucket.
Yeah.
I can do some more checking, I can do some checking around with who we deal with a lot.
Sure.
And
That'd
see
be
if I can
great.
find us a different bucket.
Yeah, because like I said, looking around, I mean, you're $2,400 new, 12 to 2,000 used, and it's 60-inch bucket is what Bobcat says that come with. It seems like a big bucket for that little machine, but
That's kind of,
82, 84 inches.
I know, but it's a little machine. It's just a
Okay.
150.
Okay.
It's tiny.
yeah, but that's a standard bucket.
That's what they said. You know, the smaller machine could take a 53, but now you're talking about like a ride-on or, you know, one of those little guys. I guess, yeah, we were kind of discussing, she was showing me how to go through, or look in the budget for where we could get some of the money for asphalting roads from. Because like in roads, we don't have a lot, but there is some in the gas tax fund.
Your
Well,
gas tax and your special gas tax.
Yeah.
That,
The money
that
there.
there is specifically for that. We can't, I mean, we can't use that for anything else, but if
Right.
we have the funds in there,
Out of your regular gas tax, you can pay for up to 25% of equipment.
right.
Okay.
We use for
But I'm
road
talking-
streets, I
but
would think
you
a
can-
bucket would.
Right.
Oh,
but you
okay.
could- But you could, that's where our asphalt and stuff would come out in that part.
Correct.
And
All your
in that
asphalt or
aspect there,
gravel.
then yes, we can, I wouldn't have, because we can't use the gas tax for anything else. We did that one time before and it cost us dearly, trust me.
So you have about 151,000 between your two gas tax funds.
Okay.
I want to double check that. I feel like your special gas tax one is a little high.
Mhm.
So I would like to double check that before I give you the okay to spend it. But once I get
In
double
that-
checked, you
In
do have quite
in
a
that
bit of money
case
there.
there, yeah, then I withdraw my concerns about paying for the budget. We have that money for the gas tax because that can only be used on streets and
Right.
roads.
Yeah.
So in that case there, then yes.
But again,
Okay.
some of that
And I will
equipment too.
get with you,
25%.
I'll do some checking and I will get with you after I get with my boss
Okay.
and stuff at work and see what we come up with the bucket.
Yeah, 'cause like with our little dump truck and everything, we can do, you know, like over there by the 3rd Avenue turnoff where they dug that new sewer or water hookup for that house there. I mean, that whole section needs to be cut out and packed. And then we can do that little one with our dump truck, but if we're paving over whole roads,
You need to, any of that stuff that you need to do, you need to cut out.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's gotta be cut and
Cut
packed
out.
and, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
repacked and gone with a minimum of 3 to 4 inch lift, preferably
Oh.
4 inch.
Yeah.
And I
would
do know
prefer
that previous councils have decided that the next road that they're working on is the one from the ditch
Mhm.
on West River Street
Mhm.
here. The
To the
ditch
school.
west.
Mhm. I agree with
Now,
that.
That's the road that goes up for that whole side of town, and it is bad. But
Oh,
that
yeah.
cutoff that goes to the school,
Well, that's
it's shot. I mean, it's worse than the road that goes up to Nate's. It's just, there's nothing left of it.
and with most of our water breaks being up West River, I mean, up that upper side of the ditch anyways, I mean, why repave that road when we're just gonna dig it out 100
So that's
times?
something that, would you guys consent then to moving, instead of working, using the majority of our money on the West River Road, to using it on that cutoff to the school? Because we do have an agreement with the county, and I know the last time we did it, we got it all prepped, and they hauled all the asphalt in, and then we graded it, and they brought a packer, and there was, I don't know, 2 or 3 guys that the county had, plus Jay, and then Jay went and worked for them for a couple of days.
Yeah, if we can do
And they
trade.
were local, and
Yeah.
then they're local.
Yeah, so they're local
yeah.
agreement.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm for that, and where Marcus was saying we're having a ton of water main breaks up that one deal. Maybe we hold off on paving that, but dig it up and gravel it nicely.
I agree.
Don't pave it.
I fully agree with that. From the ditch up, I mean, as bad as that sucks, Nate, I'd rather do that than,
What's that on West River?
yeah, I'd rather do that. It'd be cheaper in the long run.
Better than what we're driving on now.
Yeah. easier to maintain for me as well. I mean, we can put together figures. I mean, if you guys have ideas of different streets, you know, and if we can do, like you were saying, maybe it cost us, say, $18,000 for
We spent 18 for 2 streets.
for 2 streets, yeah. So if we can
What
do,
the cost, how much has it increased in the last couple of years?
Well, I know asphalt last year, we were at, what's it, like $58 a ton, so if you're
78 from Fisher,
We
yeah.
haven't done a bid on asphalt yet, but at $58, I think it was $26 a foot, to pave a 24-foot road.
Hmm.
So
However you
it's like
fit.
$180,000 a mile, so you don't go very far with asphalt.
No.
We have a possibility of using that for a grant, right? Some of that for,
The House
paving.
Bill 355
Yeah.
money, you sure could. You still have to match
Mhm.
25% of the
Okay.
project. So you would want to
Need
pick a
to-
smaller section of street to do for that.
Okay.
But you can use your gas tax money as your match money.
That's
So-
what I was figuring, that one by the school, if we could use that money and then us match.
355,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that'd probably take care of that whole street, and that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
That would really help.
It was.
So, are you guys talking about West River, like the whole street going
No.
gravel?
Everything
Or
on
just
the-
up top?
Just from the ditch up.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nate.
Yeah, I feel bad for everybody that lives
Oh,
up there,
Nate
but.
on his cars for a minute.
That's why I drive old beaters.
Did
Yes,
the
Bob, you
Legion,
have a question?
did the Legion ever pay you for that blacktop you did for them? Because it's between you and Scott Miller, and he said he was gonna pay you guys for that.
You know, I don't know. I really don't.
You
I
and
know
him had
that
the
was-
agreement, somebody should.
That was the agreement, that they were gonna pay us for that.
Cause that'd be a pretty good chunk of money, I think, for all they did.
Yeah, that's something we ought to check on.
We'd also like to be flushing the manholes with that, if we did the lower half of town, instead of,
Flushing the manhole? You don't want to jet the line? and-
yeah, jetting the lines. I don't
I would
necessarily
not
want to
recommend
do.
doing the west half until we
Yeah.
get the new main.
Right. I don't want to do.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to do this upside of town, but is that going to affect you guys if we start on the lower end of town?
No,
Okay.
shouldn't. Because that runs along Harley and Sean's and then to the
Yeah,
station.
it runs up that road.
You can do all of this.
Yep.
Yeah. But I would not jet the west side at this time.
No, I think that's very dangerous. And I live on this west side of town, and I don't want to.
I have a question. Fire hydrant out here.
I have the parts for them now. They were, what, Friday?
They were on your claims, I think. That
Yeah.
was the Northwest Pipe
Mhm,
stuff.
That's the
Yeah.
Northwest Pipe.
Okay.
They had to get me a whole bonnet because apparently there's 2 different kinds, and some you can change parts, and some you got to replace the whole top.
Okay. The second question is the fire hydrant still in the shop?
There is one in the shop. There's actually one up on Brian Jones' property up there. Mhm.
Yeah, but that one that's in the shop is supposed to be for Lover's Lane that
Oh,
we're gonna have a problem with if it doesn't get fixed. It's been sitting there for years.
That'd be all rusted
I
out.
thought I was.
Mike can fill you in on the deal.
We got one on Lover's Lane that don't work.
You got several in town that are bad, but you got one in Lover's Lane that don't drain.
Oh, that don't drain. Okay.
So if you ever have to use, it's right in front of the dentist.
Teacher.
Huh?
Okay.
Teacher. Dennis.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Dennis's house there.
Okay.
That one does not drain back, so if you ever have to use that hydrant, in the summer it's not a big deal, but in the wintertime you better suck it down.
Okay. I gotcha. Yeah, I was. Jay said there was only one in town that didn't work, and he couldn't remember which one it was.
Well, that's what that one was purchased
Okay.
for. Like
They all
10
work.
years ago.
They all work, just not.
Maybe that's the one he was referring to, was just that
was what
one.
that hydrant was for.
Okay. Yeah, because we do actually have 2 hydrants. One that should go in up on Carbon Avenue, if that ever gets done. Or, I don't know if they could use it down here, or if they're just gonna buy it, or we can keep it as an extra. However they wanna do it. But,
Anything else?
nah, that was all I had.
Do we have any other comments for our maintenance department?
Doing a good job, dude.
Trying.
Seriously, thanks for helping us out.
I would just add, I mean, if you are looking at, you know, a gentleman talked about the street by the school, just, it is not a county road as it comes through town. It stops being a county road at the city limits, so. But, because that is a lot of county traffic, I mean, certainly.
U.S. Postal Service has charged me for
And
mailbox because they can deliver mail on a county road.
I can tell you that's not a county road
I can
in the
show you
city
Consider
limits.
it a county road.
It's not as a county road, you're being charged because you are on a mail route.
Yes.
Yeah, and
That is
Yeah.
why you're being charged. Same thing down East River Street, that's why we
Okay.
have mailboxes and stuff like that.
And
The town, in the town, they give you the mailbox, it's provided for you in the town. But if you're on an actual mail route, that means they can deliver your mail to you. Then if you want a post office box, you have to pay for it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, you can put a mailbox up.
Cause like East River Street becomes a county road at the bridge.
yeah,
So I mean, we've always, you know, we come through and we'll plow.
Right.
You know,
Have,
and
since I took the boys donuts.
stuff. Yeah, we'd have an interest in, you know, helping make sure at least those streets are functioning, you know, we don't have a lot of interest in alleys and stuff
Right.
like that
Yeah.
necessarily, but
Well,
yeah,
and
when
if
you get ready to do the school, let us know, and yeah, I mean, we got trucks and we can haul and spread and
Perfect.
roll, so.
Yeah, and
Okay.
if you look on the map, the way the map shows the city limits right there at the school, it's like almost right between where the school is and that White House as you make that corner. That's where the map shows the county road begins and the
We've always
town
had
road
it
ends.
as the track, the football field, you can see it on
Mhm.
that map there,
Yeah.
better where the city limits.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, and now that makes sense to me.
That's where county road begins.
Yeah.
Is that the end of the football
Okay.
field?
Mhm.
Let's continue on, and then next on the list is our town clerk, Christian Sweet.
So, I mean, a lot of the things I was gonna talk about are covered in various ways. I guess there's a couple of things I still had on my list. Some of you had talked about council emails, and Bert can do that for no charge, the same way he does the town's email. So if everybody's good with that, I'll go ahead and have Bert set you up your own council emails, and that way you can use that for all of your town business. It
Yes.
would be a lot better than using your personal emails.
Yep.
So I'll get that done, and then we can deal with passwords and stuff when I get them all from him. The past dues, I don't know if you guys are interested in my plan on how to handle those, or if you want me to just handle it. It's kind of on my list if you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I
mean-
guess I'm just
Well,
flabbergasted how we got so many past dues.
Well, and like I
Yeah.
said, there could be some errors in billing. I just don't know. You know, I just know what the number is on the report. But because it does seem to be neglect on the town side for collecting them and not shutting off appropriately, I do want to be slightly lenient with people. So, you know, I think it will depend on, you know, if you got a $4,000 water bill, you're going to have to probably pay more per month than someone who's got a $1,000 water bill. And I'd like to give them a time frame to get it caught up. And then after that, we'll do the tax procedure, probably not this year, but next year. That's always an option every single year. And so I'd like to do, you know, like a promise to pay based on how much they owe over the course of so many months. But the minute they miss a promise to pay, they just go off. And then they're off until they pay in full. I mean, I want to be lenient, but I also want to have a clear line to cross that you're done. So that's kind of my plan. Unless you guys want me to do something different, you certainly can let me know that, but that's kind of my plan.
I think that will. So if they get shut off, do they get billed turn-on fee?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't looked at your ordinances. I
There is a
think
term.
that you have one. I've
Yes.
heard that, but I couldn't say what it was.
Okay.
So I've heard $50. I don't know if that's right. Turned it off for lack of payment. So,
Well,
but I'll
okay.
try to find the answers to that.
No, that's
More
fine. They need to
specifically.
be. if they
Yeah,
get,
there
if
should
they
be a
get shut off,
fee for getting shut off for
if
lack
they
of
get shut
payment.
off for lack of payment, to get, once they even pay their thing up, they should have to pay a turn-on fee again.
Yeah, yeah, so, yeah.
Okay?
And pay in full. If you go off, you have to pay in full to come back on. There's just no other option at that
Yep.
point. So, but anybody who's only, say, like 3 months behind, they should be on the regular procedures. You either pay by this day or we're shutting you off because you're 3 months behind. You know, somebody who's just a few months behind, I'm not going to be that lenient as I am with someone who's, 10 or 12 months behind or more. So, I had some various other things. None of them are that important considering what time it is. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Well, I would like to let everybody know that Christian is our intern clerk. She'll be here for 3 to 6 months. And she will be addressing all the clerk issues that come up and addressing it. And then Christian and I will hire another temporary person that will be in the office. And right now we're looking at Mondays and Tuesdays to have the office open, probably somewhere between 2 and 4 those days. And that way they can come in, pay their bills. If they have a question, they can ask. If she can't answer it, then we'll write it down for Christian to address.
Yeah, so, and I can show you guys in the personnel policy what type of employee I intend to hire. It's temporary on an emergency basis, because I feel like that's what you guys are, is you're on an emergency basis. And I would really like to be the only one that touches your books for a while, because I would really like to get them clean. That way, when you do bring somebody on permanently, you're not bringing them into a mess. You're bringing them into something that's good, and they just have to keep it good.
Exactly, because that's, and I'm going to say this right now, and I don't care who I piss off in this whole room. It's really unfair, people got attacked pretty hardly, and it's unfair because it's a lot deeper than just 2 girls that came in and tried to do something.
Yeah.
And I think it's really unfair. Like, I'm fixing to get upset because I know it's pissing some people off in here for me saying this, but there's some really good people that got pretty drugged through the mud.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's what I
Sorry.
don't want to do again. You guys have done this 3 times already, and to do it a 4th time and expect different results is literally the definition of insanity.
It is.
And I
Yeah.
just don't
It's
think
so
we can do that again.
Yeah.
We kept hoping it'd be better with
Yeah.
each one, and they all got a really bad deal. And I don't want to see that happen again.
All of them.
I would really
3 of
like
them.
to take the time and get you guys fixed, and, I say 3 to 6, because at 3, we'll see where we're at. If we get to 6 and we're not quite there yet, then we'll talk about 9 months. We'll just reevaluate at regular periods, but I really think that you guys can benefit from getting your town in good shape before you try to bring somebody new in.
Agreed.
And learn the job and not have to fix everything.
That's fair. That's fair to whoever's coming in. I think, and sorry letters would be nice out after that. In my opinion.
Yeah.
There's a guy over
Tim,
there.
you got a comment?
We have,
Yeah, Kristen and I talked about this a little bit earlier. I sure would like to see that flag flying on the flagpole every day. This is a city government, it needs a flagpole. And it's probably put the Montana state flag up there too.
we looked at that, and actually Mark and I have been looking at that for the last several months. But would that street light give that flag enough light to fly at night? And how's that decided? How is it decided how much light is on a flag at night?
Don't take 5 minutes to take it back down.
You can ask the guy that was in the Army for 32 years over here.
There's an actual,
I'm not like
there's an
that.
actual law that's talks about flying of the flags.
As long as it's lit.
And federal code. that talks
Yeah.
about the federal-
That's what it means, it's lit, it'd be
Yeah,
underneath that
that's
street
what
light
you're
all
with
the
the
time.
street light being enough illumination.
One of those.
To consider it illuminated
Solar.
as that flag.
There's
might
two
be.
dim.
Randomly, yeah,
I looked at those, they're too dim.
actual law.
They're what? They're too dim. I've looked into those.
Did you see mine?
Because of what?
But the street light is
Where'd you
right
get
there,
it?
so
It
when
is.
you're
Because
there,
all
it
the-
works.
I ordered online.
All the ones that I could find weren't bright enough
Okay.
because there is a,
That's right,
What do
I
you
look
think?
at
You
mine.
think we need to look into it a little more and see if we can't?
Well, it
You
sounds
got
like
the whole
there's
kit
laws
over
that
in
dictate
here?
what's illuminated and what's
You
not,
got
so
the
I think
whole
you should
kit.
definitely look into those.
Okay.
up there.
Unfortunately, my hours are so random that, you know, I can put it up when I get here, but sometimes I go home and think I'm gonna come back, and then my day goes sideways, and I don't actually come back.
Yeah, but
And
we
so
were
then
talking,
I
we
would
weren't talking
be-
about you. It
Okay.
should have been all the time, you know, before you even came here.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's the reason
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
yeah.
fly it when I
Right,
come and go,
right.
because it's very random.
It's understandable about you, but it
Okay.
should have been up before.
Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, sounds like you
Well,
can
I
look
was
into the
gonna
laws
put a
and
light on
It's
top of
actually
the
flag
building, but I
code.
didn't know about hanging it like
Okay.
across the street.
Okay.
He agrees.
Oh.
You still gotta replace.
Is there anything else?
Needs a light or no?
Well, we're gonna look at the laws
Yeah, I can pull those.
and figure out what they are,
Reasonable. I got one over there at my-
before we can.
Are they very bright?
To see if the
Are they very
street
bright?
light that's actually right there by the
Okay,
flagpole.
because like
whether
the
it's
ones
enough.
that I looked at like Home Depot and, you know, Lowe's and stuff.
Unless you
Yeah,
guys have
they
anything
were
else for me.
Not
I'm
very
good.
bright.
Yeah, okay, we're done. Next up is to approve the claims.
I guess I got one question. What did we pay for $1,500 for?
Let me pull all three of them. I know some of it was plowing snow. So those bills, they're actually from November and January, but Harley was waiting on a W-9 from him, and so I called him this morning, and he stopped in and filled one out, so I went ahead and put it on the claims. There was a bill from November for 2.5 hours of plowing snow, 12 hours of finishing the concrete in the town shop. There was a bill from January for 4 hours of plowing snow and 3 hours of burning the burn piles. Another January one of moving mounts on the old plow to fit the skid steer. That was 10 hours of time.
Yep.
That's what those
That's
three
what-
bills encompass.
He's been an extra hand that we were able to utilize.
And the way, when you see it broke out the way I do, it's because I divide that between multiple funds. When it's the town shop, I divide it between a couple of different fund accounts and the water sewer garbage funds. That's why sometimes things are listed multiple times. If that helps. You guys had credit balances on several bills that you would normally see, so that's why you don't see some of those on there, like Energy Labs, Fairtooth Electric, Verizon, your Lumens, which I think is your long distance bill, Judge Shara. They all had credit balances, so they were not paid this month. Some of them will come back around next month, some of them will have credit balances for a while.
I move to approve the claims with checks 23028 to 2304 with electronic checks 89070 to 89062.
Did you read the payroll summary numbers?
Did
Nope.
There we go.
230, yeah, those ones.
Oops, scratch all those numbers.
Payroll.
I'm like,
I was gonna say that didn't make
Payroll
That's not the numbers I have.
3041 to 23068 with electronic checks 99904 to 99903.
Okay. We have a motion to pass the claims. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the claims. Do we have any public comments? All in favor? Unanimous. Approved payroll summary.
I have to approve payroll,
Including the check numbers that he already read.
Yeah,
Which is
you
fine,
did
you
it.
don't have to read them. Not for my
And
sake.
I'll second Robert's motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the payroll summary. Do we have any public comment? All in favor? Unanimous.
Can I make one comment before we adjourn?
Okay,
I apologize.
no problem.
I know we've been here a long time. Wanted to jump back. I was a little remiss. While you guys are looking at a really large rate increase to do these projects and stuff, because the town has had the PER in place and took advantage